realm of the spirit, when you go to the next level, since you're being birthed into a new realm and you're being birthed out, you're going to feel the contraction and you're going to definitely feel the pain. And it's that crossover moment where you're crossing over in an experience and you're crossing over into the next. Jacob was having a moment, literally having a moment. And he was wrestling with a revelation. And it was the revelation that God was giving him about who he was becoming. The Bible talks about he sent a word to Jacob and it lit upon Israel. So we're looking at Jacob evolving into Israel. This is his evolutionary process. And he's wrestling with the idea that he could literally be favored by man and be favored by God, literally. He was wrestling with the evolutionary process, who he was becoming in this transitional period. And it was hard for him to conceptualize after everything that he had been through, after, his father preferring his brother Esau, after his uncle cheated him, and everything that he had to go through. He was just left with poor self-image. And he felt like, he would never get a break in life, like life was stacked up against him. And in this moment where God revealed to him, hey, listen, the next best version of yourself is Israel. He had to wrestle all night with that. And then he had a breakthrough after he had a breakdown, literally. And then he gets this breakthrough. So transition is a period that you are actually being transformed, like coal into a diamond, or a worm into a butterfly, or like a seed into a flower, or a stream into a river. There's that moment where it actually happens. It's a critical moment where, you're transformed from one state to another state. And it's not as easy. You can't just point and say it was 12 o'clock midnight. It was everything that leads to that point, and then you cross over. So transition activates this law, and it's a law of opposite effect. You have opposition before opportunity, loss before gain. There is decrease before increase, humility before exaltation, lows before high, disengagement before engagement, rejection before celebration, closed before open. So there's this law of opposite effects. It's like this antithesis in life. So transitions actually highlights these life antithesis in life. Whether we're going from singlehood to marriage, there's this transition. Whether you go from marriage to divorce back to singlehood, whether you go from employee to employer, whether you're going from one place of employment to another, whether you're going from one state or country to another state of country, whether you're going from following to leading from one season to another, there is that transition. And then there's this moment in time where you actually literally cross over. It is a tipping point. And we all get that tipping point. There's this process, then there's this tipping point, and then there's this crossing over. But you want to make sure that during the transition, just before the tipping point, just before that watershed moment, that moment in time where you literally are crossing over, you want to acquire the right kinds of mindsets. And this happens spiritually, it happens in marriage, it happens in your business, where you're transitioning from one season to the next, from one stage to the next, from one age to the next, from one assignment to the next. There is that transition. And so to successfully transition, it always brings a reward equal to the efforts that are made. So let me say it again. In the midst of transition, there is always a reward that is equal to the energy that you expend and the efforts that you made and the resolutions. Is always, there is always, you never transition and not get something out of it. Don't give up in the middle of your transition. Whether you're transitioning in business, whether you're transitioning professionally, whether you're transitioning in terms of parenting, whatever is happening for you, it's gonna happen within this transitional point. It's not what you're going through, it's what you're going to that really matters. You have to change how you think. So every stage and age of your life, you got to be able to change your thinking, how you thought when you were 14, you don't think that way when you're 40. When you were 15, you change your thinking every stage, every age of your life, every phase of your life. One of the things that Santosh said, he said, we are addicted to our thoughts. We cannot change anything if we cannot change our thinking. So you've got to get rid of that addiction. Your thoughts may not be right. I know that all of our thoughts emanate from an invisible force called experience and memories. And we do have our memories, but what you can change is the narrative. You could change how you tell the story about yourself. Today, I'm here to push you. I'm here to push you to next level thinking. I'm here to push you into the realm of courage so that you can grow and you mature in the kingdom. And we all want things to change, but we never think about changing ourselves. Either we want to see change emotionally, relational changes, change in the business, better health, better relationships, better work environments, better success, better finances, better communication with those that we love. We all want better, but it takes transition, and transition requires change.